Far Cry 6 is Ubisoft's latest game in the Far Cry franchise, and it continues the series' tradition of being jam-packed with Easter eggs. We've got near on 50 Easter eggs to get through today, some of which hopefully you won't have seen elsewhere. So without further ado, let's take a look at all the Easter eggs in Far Cry 6. One of the first Easter eggs that you'll encounter while playing Far Cry 6 is a reference to the iconic Leap of Faith from Assassin's Creed. In the Prado Meadows, you'll be able to find this tower. Climbing to the top, you'll come face to face with a familiar looking scene. The perch, the eagle's cry overhead, and the haystacks below all come together to make this an undeniable reference to Assassin's Creed's Leap of Faith. Now, I guess all that's left to do is jump.
Oh, shit!
Yeah, that really doesn't work as well in this game. If you want more Assassin's Creed Easter eggs, then Far Cry 6 has you covered, as next we'll be heading to the Invicto bunker, found here on the map, where on a shelf you'll be able to find a note. This note includes a golden apple artifact, which sounds suspiciously similar to the Assassin's Creed's Apple of Eden. I guess while we're here, the note also references a crate of Electrum, that being the fictional currency used in Starlink, Battle for Atlas, and also Immortals Phoenix Rising. There's still a couple more Assassin's Creed Easter eggs. These ones can be found during the Cash Money treasure hunt. Once you make your way inside Bunker 2, yet another note can be found, this time referencing a broken ancient spear, likely an Easter egg to the Spear of Leonidas from Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and a pair of ancient concealed blades. I think that one can go without too much explanation. Once again, also on this note, we have a reference to a knife of Chinese origin featuring a silver dragon, a blade that we last saw in Far Cry 3. If you thought that was it for Assassin's Creed Easter eggs, you'll be sorely mistaken, as still down in the same bunker, you can find the Sobek Special, a special sniper rifle hailing from Egypt and evoking very strong flashbacks to Assassin's Creed Origins and Sobek, who was a boss in that game. Okay, let's move away from Assassin's Creed for now, though I'm sure we'll be back later to look at one final Easter egg in Bunker 2. Behind the security gate down here, you can find a model ship taken directly from Starlink Battle for Atlas. There's also a note right next to it discussing the game. I didn't even realise this game was still relevant. Leaving Bunker 2 now, we have one more Easter egg in this area, just as you're leaving. A note on a concrete wall ends with, "We are DedSec," the secret hacking collective seen in the Watch Dogs series. If you're in the mood for reading more notes, then head over to the Punto Este Lighthouse, where on top of one of the buildings, you can find yet another note. Fans of Rhianna will especially love this Easter egg, as the note contains no less than 7 of her song titles, including Umbrella, Rude Boy, and I think most obviously, We Found Love. Either Rhianna herself is out there in the game world somewhere, or there's a Rhianna superfan hiding in Yara. Now, not all Far Cry 6 Easter eggs are visual. This next Easter egg, found by Reddit user Infinite Spinergy, is actually found in the ambient sound design. As you travel around Yara, you will often stumble across power stations. Now, that's not really anything special, but there's a secret here hidden in plain sight. The sound of the electricity buzzing is actually extremely subtle Morse code reading, "Cameron Britton is the greatest sound designer of all time." Yes, you are, Cameron. Yes, you are. Another Easter egg by the dev team, this time comes from the art department. During the mission Stealing Home, you'll come across a baseball jersey. Once the mission is complete, you can find this jersey again in the baseball museum in Feroza. Just grab a sniper rifle and take a quick look at the plaque below the jersey. This text is so small and you can't read it. I think that's a paradox. Movie references are always a really popular Easter egg, and Far Cry 6 has about 7 of them. We'll start with the most obvious of them all, the special operation called Mesozoico. This takes place in what's clearly a homage to Jurassic Park. Whilst having no living dinosaurs, Mesozoic Park contains plenty of fake ones. The gates to the park are also very clearly inspired by the gates to Jurassic Park, and one final reference can be heard from a tour guide button as you enter the park.
Welcome to Mesozoic Park.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Whilst being a slightly smaller Easter egg, this next one features a film just as prominent. During the Yaron story spur of the moment, when exploring the bunker, Danny will say this line of dialogue, which is a reference to the 1986 movie Aliens.
If roosters start coming out of the walls, it's game over, man.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
What's more, as you continue deeper into the bunker, you'll come across a room filled with nests where you'll be endlessly attacked by crazy roosters. Now this whole scenario is very reminiscent of the Aliens eggs and aliens seen in Aliens. I really need to stop saying aliens. Our next movie reference is to another 80s movie icon, as well as their less iconic recent film. I'm of course talking about Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones is referenced in the treasure hunt, the Emerald Skull. During this hunt, you follow the trail of an archaeologist as they discover a mysterious Emerald Skull. A storyline not too dissimilar to Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Along the way, you'll explore ancient tombs, try to survive hidden booby traps, cross a bridge very similar to that seen in Temple of Doom, and ultimately solve some puzzles and the mystery behind the Emerald Skull. Oh, and you'll even need to escape a crumbling tomb at the end. It's all very Indiana Jones.
Coño! That was worse than I expected.
For completing this treasure hunt, you'll unlock the fedora hat dashboard prop with the description, "This belongs in a museum." This is undisputably an Indiana Jones Easter egg. Another much smaller movie reference comes in the form of the Full Metal Jacket weapon charm, a reference to the movie of the same name, and even featuring an iconic line from the film.
What is your major malfunction, numbnuts?
Far Cry 6's photo mode is really cool and also features a movie Easter egg in the form of this pose referencing the movie Platoon. We'll come back to the photo mode later, but let's first take a look at some of Far Cry 6's weapons. Far Cry 6's weapons all have a bunch of different designs that you can buy for them. Some of these just so happen to be Easter eggs as well. Take for instance the Predator camo for the MG21 and its description, "If the FND bleeds, you can kill it." A reference to the 1987 movie Predator.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Our final movie reference comes from another weapon skin, this time the Shark White camo for the MS-16L. Its description being an obvious reference to the theme music from Jaws. There's just a couple more weapon skin Easter eggs, this time not referencing movies in particular. The RMS-18 features a skin called the Commodore, inspired by the 1982 home computer, the Commodore 64. Next up, the RPD has a camo called Salt Spray. Its description, reading, "Spinach doesn't make sailors strong, this gun does," is a reference to Popeye the Sailor Man. Our final weapon skin is the Soviet satellite camo for the Rat-4, which rather morbidly references Laika, the Soviet space dog who became one of the first animals in space, but sadly never made it back. Moving away from the weapons now, perhaps my favourite Easter egg in Far Cry 6 is perfect for right now, considering Halloween is just around the corner, unless you're watching this at any other time of year. So let's cue up some spooky music and head to the Santo Amaro Cemetery, where you can find this Easter egg. Inside this mausoleum, you can find a note detailing the ghost of the broken father, who has been spotted roaming the cemetery by night. Is the Santo Amaro Cemetery haunted? People are afraid to visit the Santo Amaro Cemetery at night time for fear of running into what locals are calling the ghost of the broken father.
It just came out of nowhere,
says Annabella Torrido.
I was visiting my grandmother's grave one night when suddenly he just appeared. Scared the shit out of me.
Unlike some previous ghosts and hauntings in the Far Cry games, there is no doubt that this is a genuine ghost, and from here, the father is trying to lead you to uncovering his secret. After following the ghost to the tombstone, you'll be able to read a second note.
Mendo, I'm leaving this note for you at our son's grave. Here is a truth I can only write. We must move on and live our lives. You fight this war for vengeance, but all I want is peace and solitude. I want him back, but I won't chase him into the grave. I'm going to live at Casa Dario until this revolution of yours is finished. I did what you asked. The supplies are hidden. Be safe, Mendo. And remember, we grieve for our son both together and alone.
Whilst not expressly told to do so, you can continue this story by heading to Casa Dario yourself, where you'll discover the bloody conclusion to this story. To anyone finding this, I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. I followed her to this place, and when I saw her so happy again, I lost control. How can she be so happy when I am so miserable?
Thank you for this benediction.
We've still got a whole bunch of Easter eggs coming up, but we're going to do a very quick lightning round right now to take a look at some of the bobbleheads that you'll be able to collect in the game. This bobblehead features Bayek from Assassin's Creed Origins. This one, available through the black market, features a raving rabbit. Nox from Beyond Good and Evil appears as this bobblehead, and this bobblehead features Valkyrie from Rainbow Six Siege. Marcus from Watch Dogs 2 makes an appearance, as does Edward Kenway from Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. There's a bobblehead for the Conqueror from For Honor, as well as two more Rainbow Six Siege bobbleheads, Hibana and Sledge. Finally, we have a Sam Fisher bobblehead from Splinter Cell. Shockingly, Far Cry 6 is a Far Cry game, and as such contains a bunch of Easter eggs referencing previous Far Cry games. I'm sure there was a better way of saying that. One such Easter egg is this magazine, which can be found pretty much anywhere, featuring Pagan Min, the antagonist from Far Cry 4. Boomer from Far Cry 5 can be found and recruited as an amigo, simply by starting the Yaren story, Boom or Bust. Just play through this side mission and you'll eventually find Boomer in a shipping container. Yeah, he'll get renamed to Boom Boom, but, you know, he's still as great as ever. As you explore the beaches of Far Cry 6, you'll often run into some random events ranging from escapees building rafts, murdered gorillas in wheelbarrows, and some strange stuff going on with flamingos and fish. But one of these encounters is a reference to Far Cry 3. If you ever find a bucket on the beach, shooting it will reveal a man buried up to his shoulders. This has become quite a popular Easter egg in various Far Cry games, first originating on the cover art for Far Cry 3. Now combine this with the vast pose in the photo mode, and you can attempt to recreate the cover art, if only the photo mode didn't cause the head to bug out. Speaking of the photo mode poses, this pose called The Father is a reference to Joseph Seed, the antagonist from Far Cry 5. Another Far Cry Easter egg can be seen on the US Dogtag charm. It features the name Willis Huntley, the CIA agent who appeared in Far Cry 3, Far Cry 4, and Far Cry 5. All around Yara, you'll find wooden crates. Nothing special, right? Well, some of these feature a QR code that, when you scan it, leads to a really interesting video. Now that's either a tease for future DLC, maybe a future Far Cry game, or some people are speculating a battle royale. I honestly don't have a clue. Anyway, going forward from this point, we're going to be looking at some major story spoilers, so you have been warned. Sean McKay is a major character through most of the game, whose storyline comes to a head in the mission The Deported. The name itself a reference to the movie The Departed. Anyway, at the end of the mission, if you choose not to kill McKay, but instead just wait around for about 5 minutes, he'll start talking to some familiar characters on his phone.
Yeah, sorry about being late. I had some stuff with that Yara project I needed to tie up. I'm happy you're late, Willis. It makes me look good. So, I got 2 ships full of WMDs and Viviro out of here for you. Yeah, did it before these kids could stop it. I'll call you again once I'm back stateside. Could be a while. Yeah. Longinus, baby, come on, where have you been? You wouldn't believe this, but I'm in Yara, your old stomping grounds, buddy. Now listen, not sure if you're in the things that kill people game anymore, but I got some WMDs that you can make use of. You heading back to Karat anytime soon?
Secret endings are basically a tradition for Far Cry games at this point, and Far Cry 6 does not disappoint. Compared to the other secret endings in the series, you'll have to play through the game a little further than usual, specifically up to the moment when you destroy the blockade and leave the first island. Without spoiling too much of the story, the main character Danny has been wanting to escape the revolution on Yara and sail to Miami to start a new life. And this is the moment when they finally get the opportunity to leave for America.
I keep my promises, Danny. You wanted a boat, you got a boat.
It's a beautiful piece of shit, but it'll get you to a Yankee beach. One with the naked fatties.
You two are just gonna let me leave. Bullshit.
You could have sold us out a long time ago. You're my best kid here. I can't promise you victory, I can't even promise you survival. What I can promise you is this. You are the lucky one.
That usually work?
50-50.
Now, ordinarily, you'd be expected to stay and continue on with the revolution, but if your Danny is a little more selfish than all that, then you can take the boat out to sea, where you'll discover the secret ending and earn the Hidden in Plain Sight achievement.
Discúlpame, Clara. Not my fight.
Despite the tragedy, the company promises that its secretive new resort park will soon be open to the public. In other news, war has ended in Yara. President Anton Castillo announced that Clara Garcia, the leader of the terrorist group Libertad, was killed by his special forces. And as the pandemic tightens its grip on the globe, the federal government may impose another nationwide lockdown. But first, how about something a little more upbeat?
The credits have rolled, and that's the end of this secret ending. Bonus points if you spotted the COVID-19 Easter egg. That's all that we need right now. But there's actually one more tiny piece to this secret, which you can actually hear when you jump back into the game after doing the secret ending.
Huh. Why do I feel so relaxed?
And finally, this mammoth video is coming to a close with a hidden post-credits scene. After the credits have rolled, you'll be able to listen in on Juan having a conversation with a mysterious client.
Libertad thanks you for your support, and I come bearing good news. Our Ribiro supply has tripled.
You know, it's so sad about that Castillo kid. I mean, what his papa did. Wow, that is crazy.
Nah, a tragedy.
Well, you know, some people are just sick in the mind, hermano. They're out of control.
Same time next week.
Oh, you can bet your life on it.
Yeah.
If you didn't recognise that voice, that was Vars, the long-fought dead antagonist of Far Cry 3. Well, there we have it. This video has ended up being much bigger than I ever thought. But you know what? I hope you enjoyed it regardless. I'm going to go to sleep now, but in the meantime, if you did enjoy this video, then please leave me a like, comment, and of course, subscribe. See you next time.